To Femi Welsh Limited, owners of SOUQ TV Lagos, Our Radio Lagos, Kaswa Radio Kano, and of course, Emirates TV Abuja and Dubai. Our niche market for media is business, economy, and development. At Femi Welsh, we promote your company's products and services using our world-class facilities. From Our Radio to SOUQ TV, what you get is nothing but the best of the very best.
And if you're looking for the premium production firm for your events and corporate coverage, think no further, because we offer you the best of industry stuff.
With high-definition cameras ranging from 4K to 8K multicam setups, high-directional microphones, and real-time streaming encoders, we give you a production like none other. And if you're looking to produce podcasts, adverts, and documentaries, our team of experts will ensure that you convey your message clearly and professionally. Femi Welsh, Global Vision, Local Impact.
Well, thank you very much indeed. My name is Stephen Kola Balogun. I happen to be a lawyer, and should I call myself a pseudo-politician? Not quite a politician, but I've served in government before, and I'm delighted to be here. Well, thank you very much. Well, yes, is it my family or the wider family? I mean, like I said, I'm the son of Chief Dr. Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. Like I said, he was a former politician, a frontline politician. He was the General Secretary of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, later National Council of Nigerian Citizens. He was the General Secretary of that party for about 8 years. From there, he was appointed by SOUQ to become a federal minister. He was initially a federal minister without portfolio. Consequently, after that, he became acting minister for labor, social services, and then he became Nigeria's first federal minister for information in 1956. He held that portfolio to 1958. Thereafter, he resigned from government. He had disagreement with the party. And Tafawa Balewa felt that he was a useful politician that could be sent to Ghana. And he went to Ghana to find out what was. But Ghana was a bit ahead of us in terms of politics at the time. And I think it's fair to say they got independence just before us. And Tafawa Balewa wanted someone to understudy, to find out what we're doing. So he sent Kola Balogun there. Initially, he was commissioner, and later, when we gained independence in 1960, he became high commissioner. Shortly after that, when we became independent, he yearned to come home. He wanted to take part in the new political atmosphere at the time. He asked the Prime Minister to relieve him, to let him come back, and he did come back home. And immediately he took up the position of being chairman of the National Shipping Line. That was the position he held on to until the military struck in 1966. But even then, when the military did strike in 1966, he still continued. I think General Debayo of blessed memory invited him to join his cabinet, and he served as a commissioner for about 3 years or more. I think he was commissioner for health and was commissioner for education. Later, he also became chairman of the sketch group of companies as well. And that was about it. I think after his stint in government, he decided to go and do a PhD at the University of Ibadan. And then he went back into private legal practice. And then he started this agitation for the creation of Osun State. He and a few others set up the movement. He was the chairman of the movement. And then to the glory of God in 1991, Osun State was created. And that's it.
Tell us about mommy.
Well, yes, my mother. Well, in those days, the women were not so much in the forefront, But my mother has been my bedrock. She stood by me, and she has backed me in most of the things I've set out to do, And she's still alive. She's 89 this year, and she's still doing well, and she's still
and your wife
going
and
strong.
the kids?
Yes, my children. Yes, I have 3 girls, 3 daughters. My oldest is 31. She studied at King's College London. She did reasonably well. She got a 7th class upper. Proud of her. She's an art curator today. And I have twin girls as well who are also in university now, that they haven't graduated yet. One of them is in Oxford University. She's studying history and politics. And the other is in Cambridge University. She's studying human, social, and political sciences. So, yeah. I did. My father, Chief Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. Yes, he was in the first cabinet in the First Republic, the first ever cabinet Nigeria had, and he served as the Federal Minister of Information and Research. As a matter of fact, he happened to be Nigeria's first information minister. Later, T.O.S. Benson, of course, became the independent Nigeria's first information minister, but independent Nigeria. But Nigeria's first ever information minister happened to be Chief Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. No, I didn't. I took an opposite route from my father. My father went into politics straight immediately after he finished his education, and then he now ventured into law a little bit later. I decided to look at things differently. I thought that after academics I should practice law a bit, and that's what I've been doing. But at some point, I think that was in about 2011, I was called upon to serve in the Osun State government as a commissioner, and I took up that opportunity, and I enjoyed myself. Well, I am in the sense that I'm 65 years old now, and I think it's fair to say that we belong to, well, I would say the first set, but one of those who benefited from Nigerian education. I schooled here. I went to secondary school in the West. I went to the University of Ife. Went to the Nigerian Law School. And I think it's fair to say that all the schools at that time were of high quality, produced top quality students who went on to make names for themselves, not just here in Nigeria, but also abroad. I think we still do that now, even though the standard of education has dropped. The sad thing about it is that Nigeria could have been a lot better in terms of the potential, because Nigeria does have a lot of potential. We do have very brilliant young men and women, and I just think that if we had invested more in education, that we could have, the sky would have been the limit, actually. Well, my take on this is that it's the system of law itself. As a young lawyer, I experienced a few challenges myself, and I think one of the obvious challenges is the appeal structure. It's too easy to appeal against judgments. At the same time, when you file actions in court, there are no penalties for costs. In other words, I can file a frivolous action. I could insult you, as an example, and then you could sue me. And I say to myself, well, I'm going to eke it out. I'm going to take it. You're going to have to take me all the way to the Supreme Court. That doesn't make sense. That's not fair. On the other hand, I could also file a frivolous application against you. And then filing a frivolous application, I could call you something you are not. I could defame you. And in so doing, you expect at least that once you prove your case, that I will be made to pay the penalties for filing frivolous applications. But that doesn't happen. And then, of course, the conditions of the judges. I mean, the judges are still writing longhand. They do trials, they sit there, they listen to witnesses, give evidence, and they have to write all these things down longhand. So there's so many challenges that has hampered the progress of law. And there hasn't been enough investment, I must say. Well, I agree with that, and I'm going to give an example as to how that I think we could possibly do that. Now, the Supreme Court hears everything. It's the final court in Nigeria, so they're going to hear issues related to criminal law, civil matters, constitutional matters, as you know, all these matters that's got to do with elections, so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, when we have an election cycle, the legal system slows down because the judges are hampered. They're too busy listening to the various appeals from the various states and the federal government to do with the elections. So as a consequence, the other matters to do with shipping, banking, criminal law are put on the back burner. I think we need what you call a constitutional court, whereby which the judges in the Supreme Court are divided. So you have those judges whose responsibility it is entirely to deal with constitutional matters, and then you have another set whose duty will be to deal with shipping, banking, civil matters, criminal matters, and so on and so forth. So I believe it's high time Nigeria has a constitutional court to try and aid the Supreme Court with the workload they have, which is, quite frankly, quite a bit. Well, Nigerians, with respect, are very brilliant, very intelligent, and they are very aware. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a tailor, you're a driver, you're a lawyer, engineer, they are quite well informed. And the truth of the matter really is that this is the longest republic we've had. This republic started in 1999, and this is 2025, so 26 years. Nigeria's never had a republic this long. But the main flaw is the one you just mentioned. The fact that that constitution that was bequeathed to us by the military in 1999 was never really approved by the people. That doesn't make sense, and that's unfair. In fairness, we ought to be able to look at the constitution, improve upon it, and put our own input into it. Now, there's a way around that, and I've always believed, many people oppose this, but I'm of the view that what Nigerians need to have is a referendum. Have a referendum to ask the Nigerian people whether they want to persist with the 1999 constitution, or do they want to drop a new one? If the answer to that question is yes, we want to drop a new constitution, then that puts paid to the 1999 constitution, and then you can now have a system, a constituent assembly, whatever the case may be, where people will sit around the table and fashion out a new constitution. If the people say no, that means I've indirectly approved the 1999 constitution, and then we continue with it. But what we can't do is continue having this debate, these arguments as to whether the 1999 constitution has been approved by Nigerians or not, because it has not been. So I think the way around that is to ask the Nigerian people through a referendum, asking them whether they want to persist with this constitution. If they say no, then we have a new one. If they say yes, we continue with the old one. And that ends the debate. Every system has its merits. Every system has its advantages and disadvantages. To some extent, the presidential system of government has an advantage. It has the advantage in the sense that it has brought government nearer to the people. So the people of Osun, from where I'm from, for instance, now, have their own state. Same thing can be said, it's been replicated across the country. However, the drawbacks, the disadvantage is the fact that it's extremely expensive. Now, look at Nigeria, for instance, now. We have 36 state governments. So that means we have 36 governments in Nigeria. If you add the government of Abuja, if you add the federal government, that's 38. Now, each one of these governments have some form of legislature, judiciary, an executive as well, local government, civil service. It's too expensive. Look, in America, where we borrowed this system from, the states came together to form a union. This is totally different. We are doing it the opposite way. So we've had a structure that we're now going back. So at the end of the day, many of the state governments are still dependent on the federal government. And as a consequence, the kind of progress we ought to be making, we're not quite making it. So I personally, and this is a personal view because others would disagree, I would prefer that we reduce the size of government by having some kind of regional structure. And I believe that that will reduce the burden of governments. And if we can reduce the burdens of government, we can use this money to do many other things. And I also think it will also improve standards as well. Not just standards of government or parliamentary standards or whatever the case may be, but there'll be less people involved in the political system. And that would help us a great deal. Well, I think it's fair to say that since 1999, we haven't had any new state creation. I know there's been agitation for the creation of states, but there hasn't been any. The process for creating a state is quite cumbersome. It's not easy. I think it's in Section 8 and 9 of the Constitution. I don't think it's something we should be looking at. I think, like I said to you earlier, I think we should be trying to reduce the number of states, and I think some kind of regional structure whereby which we can monitor better what's going on rather than having more states. So I personally would not encourage the creation of more states, no. In the 1950s, we had 3 regions, if I'm correct. Those regions were the West, the East, and the North. We had the colony of Lagos, but if I'm right, I think it was the Macpherson Constitution, I think it is, I'm not too sure, that now put Lagos under the Western region. Now, when Lagos was placed under the Western region, lots of people were not happy about that. I remember my father was in the NCNC. The NCNC people were not particularly pleased. Neither were the NPC. Because they felt that Lagos belonged to everybody. Like I said, lots of people from different walks of life, different tribes, different backgrounds, and all schooled. I mean, Zik schooled in Lagos. He went to MBHS. So it was the issue was sent to London to arbitrate. I think it was Oliver Littleton that arbitrated over the matter. And it was decided that Lagos should stand on its own, that Lagos should not be merged with any of the regions. And that was how Lagos was able to free itself from the shackles of the Western region. It's fair to say that the position of the NCNC was actually argued in London by my father. That's why I'm quite familiar with this. But talking about Lagos, when the military, after that, we had what you called a minister for Lagos. I think there was Ribadu, and I think there was one other person, but I think it was Yaradua, not the same Yaradua, but his father. And then later after that, when the military struck, they created the state of Lagos. So the issue of giving Lagos special status has more or less been taken over by events. Lagos is a state, and as a state, it's still home to different people with different backgrounds, from different tribes, and it's thriving. I think it's fair to say that Lagos is probably the most prosperous state in the country, and it's just a question of its continuing with good governance and improving the strides they have made. Once again, let's go back to the past. we had what we used to call the House of Chiefs, wasn't it? And in those House of Chiefs, many of the members of the House of Chiefs were people, were traditional rulers, chiefs from different backgrounds, and they had a say in the running of the affairs of state. It's like it was more or less akin to the House of Lords. So it wasn't necessarily the chamber whereby which the activities of day-to-day governance took place, but they could always refer issues to them. And I think that if we change our structure of governance, and if, that's a big if, then yes, we can have something like that. We can have a second chamber, which is more or less advisory in nature, similar to the House of Lords, whereby which we will have obas and chiefs and people of influence who will be able to advise government from day to day from the experiences and the way forward, but not necessarily binding. I think that's important. Their decisions won't necessarily be binding on us, but at least they'll be able to share their views and experiences with the people. Well, that's a big issue. I was commissioner for youth in Osun about 10 years ago under Rauf Aregbesola, and it was an issue we took quite seriously. In Osun State, we had quite a number of youths who are unemployed, and the governor thought, what can I possibly do to give them something to do, to keep them employed? So he created what we call the Osun State Youth Empowerment Scheme. Now, under the State Youth Empowerment Scheme, unemployed youths were given particular tasks in state. Help us sweep the roads. Some were part-time lecturers. Some were doing all sorts of things. They were given a stipend. It wasn't a full-blown salary. Or the salary, although the stipend was enough to keep them to be able to buy things, to be able to buy themselves drinks and food, and kept them occupied until they could find themselves a job. And I think the federal government could follow that kind of scheme, set up a youth empowerment scheme whereby which unemployed youths are given things to do. There's so many things that need to be done in Nigeria. There's so many gaps whereby which the youths can help do that. In the interim, while they find themselves something more gainful or something more permanent. So it's a question, it's for government to do. It's for government to think of a way of helping out the youths. And of course, there should be partnerships, a partnership between the government and private enterprise to try and encourage them to take on more of our youths, and not necessarily those who have schooled abroad, who they think are probably the best in terms of employment. No, we have many here who can do a good job as well. Sustaining democracy is about discipline. It's about the people being disciplined. It's about those who rule us being disciplined. I started out by telling you that this is the longest government we've had. It's the longest republic we've had. We've had democracy now since 1999, 26 years. If you go back to the days of independence, there's been no republic that has been this long. So it shows that the people have embraced democracy. They've come to it's part of us now. They've come to enjoy it. Yes, there are hiccups in terms of the fact that we could do a lot better in terms of how we implement things. But in terms of the people yearning for democracy and imbibing it, I think we've done very well. And what we just need to do is just to try and perfect it. One of the ways, like I said much earlier, is to perhaps take a second look at the Constitution, see where areas where we can improve, and try and make people happy, and at the same time reduce the cost of governance. But I don't think democracy is going anywhere. I think it's here to stay.
19th of August 2025, Paris will come alive with the prestigious People's Choice Governors Awards taking place at the Gauche Hotel, Paris. The prestigious People's Choice Governors Awards is designed to celebrate governors who have contributed immensely to their states in different countries across the world. If you are a governor who's gone above and beyond to deliver transformative projects in your state and country, then this award is for you. To partake of the Governor's Excellence Awards this year taking place in Paris, all you have to do is send an email to SOUQnexus.com with the words, "I accept," and we will get right back to you. You can also send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp number scrolling on your screens right now. You don't want to miss Paris for anything, and we are looking forward to celebrating you and your achievements this year. So contact SOUQ Nexus to make that happen.
AME, the Chief Executive Officer of the Field Foundation. Please recognize that she's presently present. Please let the hands get up for her. Thank you so much. Ushers, please allow me to be on standby to see many of my guests and not seated where they should be, so that they can let me do that. Alright. I think we have, I don't know if we have the founder of the Builders Transact. Yes. Alright, okay. The Legal State Manager for Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SOUQ, Dr. Oluwumi, still on his way. Mr. Tunji Oke, co-founder of Get Funded Africa Technologies, still on his way. Dr. Itausa of SAMAZE, that's the General Manager of Souqnews. You are recognized as well. Mr. Shino Vanikeshi is here with us, the Managing Director of Goxi Micro Insurance Bank. You're welcome. So, round of applause. Can you wave your hands so that we will have here with us? Thank you so much. Please, ushers. Yes. Can you help me move him to his appropriate seat? Thank you so much. Mrs. Tino Olatunsin Ajayi, Asborn Ambassador, former President, Association of Professional Women Bankers. Alright, still on our way. Mr. Richard E. Monije, Regional Manager, Bank of Industry. You're most welcome. A round of applause for him. Thank you so much. Alright, so we're still expecting the representative from SON, NAFDAC, and the Raw Materials Center Development Council of Nigeria. If you have the representative, please let us know. Alright. Okay. I think it's safe to move on while we await other guests that need to take their seats here today. But meanwhile, while we do that, please let me at this point in time announce to us that this event once again is put together by ASBON, Association of Business Owners of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Trade, Industry, Cooperative and Investment. And we are here today. It's going to be a record-breaking event for you. This is your first time. Please, this is your first time. Please, can you wave your hand? This is your first time. Oh, wow, we have first time here. Wow. But don't worry, we'll start a drink now. That's the first time. Don't worry. And that's what we do in churches. Yes or yes. First time honors, don't worry. Because not because you hear drink, you're not raising your hand. You didn't raise it before. Because you had to be entertained, there's no problem. Alright, every one of us will be entertained here today. We have our sponsors and brand. Many of them. We have Zenith Bank, which is the complete sponsor, the platinum category, and of course, 7-Up would be company makers of Pepsi. And that's why you see Pepsi outside there. So please don't worry, you will be duly entertained. Bank of Industry, Adosa, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, SOUQ News, God's Market Insurance Company, the CRC Credit Bureau Limited, and of course, yes, these are some of our sponsors. And at this point in time, I think it's important that we know why we are doing this. For 5 consecutive years, this organization have ensured that this event is put together to celebrate stakeholders who are adding value to the small and medium enterprises in Nigeria, and to shed more light, to give us more insight as to why they've been consistent with this event. Please, I would like to invite no other person than the lead convener, the president of the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, a great visionary, a great pathfinder. Please, let's celebrate Dr. Femi Egbesola. Please permit me to stand on existing protocols for the special mention of the Executive Governor of Lagos State. By invitations of all the Executive Governor State brings therefore appeals to CON, the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investments, Mrs. Olasade Abdul, the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industrial Trade and Investments, States, Mr. Shofela and Bola, and other head of ministries, departments, and agencies that represent our sure that are aware that the DG of FIRO being represented here. Now, please have this stand up for recognition. Okay, thank you very much. I would think if I want to mention everybody has ought to be mentioned. Every one of us is important. I also like to thank very seriously the keynote speaker for today. Daily for many other times we're here. And of course, our panelists, quite a number of them are already around. Thank you so much for being here today. The commissioner will soon be here to give a speech. But before then, we're going to go down to my speech, which is to give the opening address. So on behalf of the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Industry and Investments, I warmly welcome you to the Nigerian National MSME Business Awards. This is the 5th edition, and it is designed to celebrate, appreciate, and enable supporters of the MSME system. We have created a platform that we have to say thank you for supporting us for all the institutions, governments, development partners, and the rest. And it is our desire to find a way to create a platform to recognize and appreciate. That's the essence of this award event. And at the same time, too, it's not just about appreciating them, it's about pushing them to do more. The award program is designed to say, please, we want you to do more. So today, it's not just about appreciating, it's about also encouraging them to support us to more. We are kids, the MSMEs, we are kids, we need a push, we need a support. Everyone in the ecosystem can give to us. We also want to thank our sponsors that we have today, all of us without the sponsors, we also thank the media and of course, every other person, including my own immediate community, has won many and free. Members of our phone, I think they are by this side, right? Please celebrate them. Let's put our hands together for them. The drivers of the economy, yes or yes. I think you guys have a slogan. As long start from wow. Is that it? Can you get that? You know it. Wow. Amazing. As long start from See, it's very important, especially the last one. You want to start now. Many ideas are probably died in the heads of the conceivers, like, I will start tomorrow. I have this idea, and yet you never had the opportunity to start. So it's very important. Start now. God bless you for consistently putting this together. You are indeed the drivers of the economy, and we celebrate what you are doing under the able leadership of the President, Dr. Femi Ekmeshola. Very energetic man. I don't know where he gets energy from. See, yesterday he was still reaching out, putting the dots on the I's, crossing the T's, ensuring everything is, on point. God bless you. I love your meticulousness. There's so much I'm learning from you, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, on this note, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's the 5th SME Business Awards, National SME Business Awards, put together by husband. We'll be inviting our key note speakers to speak for us at this point in time. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker is for all the basic, the Executive Director of Faith Foundation, Mrs. Adeyemi Adeyemi. She will be speaking to us on sustainable business practices, the new competitive advantage for SMEs. A round of applause for her one more time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Abby. Great, thank you once again. I'm really delighted to be here at the 5th Nigerian National SME Business Awards. Very honored to be giving the keynote address. All protocols to be observed, and I stand on the existing protocols that were earlier on outlined, and hopefully our special guests coming, and I know that we time to acknowledge them once they come. I also would like to, I love the Asphalt Start Small, Project Start Now. It's a very inspiring, but also very strategic slogan, and I think it speaks to the essence of what Asphalt is, but also what Asphalt should be, and the role that you play within the ecosystem. For me, whenever I come to events like this, the people who are very important to me as our VIPs, those who are building businesses of different forms. You are my VIPs, you are the champions of our work in so many ways. You are the ones that hold our economies nationally, community-wise, locally. Nobody gets blessings like people that run businesses. I know recently we were talking a lot about emotional and mental health for business owners because they need it. Maybe even more than other people that do it. And I'm also happy to see that we have quite a lot of women here. No prejudice to our men, but to you're home builders, you're community builders, you're vision builders. So I want to especially acknowledge our MSMEs who are here in the room. So good morning once again, everyone.
Decision and MSME can actually take view of the affordability of microinsurance, for them to adopt affordable microinsurance, for them to be valued as a means of risk management to protect themselves in the event that they experience shock. And of course, with as little as 1,500 naira, an MSME can actually be able to access to protect their means of livelihood. Or a minimum of 500 naira monthly premium payment. They will actually buy a health coverage, that will, of course, protect themselves, protect their staff, and member of household against issue of out-of-pocket, health services. And of course, an MSME with that same little amount of money will also be able to access, some kind of insurance protection that will support the education of their children. All of these are very essential in terms of support the MSME needs. What we found mostly is that MSME are not able to adopt, the old mechanism that MSME adopt are always very challenging. And most of the time, quite often than not, erodes their, small saving by having to deep manage their already existing asset or saving for them to actually meet some of these challenges. Thank you.
You'll be shocked to see that a lot of small businesses do not have access to data or do not make data-driven decisions that help their businesses perform, right? So to achieve continued success in a growing economy like Nigeria, small businesses need to focus on solutions that help them stay efficient.
We are very focused on sustainability because we understand that SMEs are the engines and the main focus of any economy in any nation. So why do we talk about sustainability? There are different ways of ensuring that there's sustainability through strategic programs that it does. In SMEDA, we have various programs that are focused towards the whole MSMEs. Then we are also gender-centric and we focus on those that are mainly meant for women and youths. Some of the programs we have about 15 programs off the top of my head. We have some that are focused on those in agriculture, the textile and the likes of them. For example, we have the YSP, which is Women in Self-Employment Program, which is focusing on women that are working for themselves and trying to thrive. So we always try to identify all these businesses and look at how we can have a strategic partnership within the ecosystem and building sustainability. Thank you.
Some time ago, I was in Kigali and we were having a conversation and somebody said something that was quite very traumatic for me as a person. And he said there are two nations on earth that are very passionate about telling how bad that they are. And those nations are Nigeria and South Africa. So we tell it very serious energy. And what picture does this paint out there is that nothing good is happening here. And so people are not even willing to come around to say want to do business because the way the media is structured in Nigeria only tells the bad news. We have data about things that are not working. We have data about things that are so bad. But on the good side of the country, nobody is telling it. And this is the challenge that, of course, the country is facing. So when people are thinking about Nigeria, the things that they can easily think about are the things that are not working. And this was a challenge for us. And so in 2022, we were in the UAE, and we saw the way the environment was working. It's not as if the things that are happening there, we don't have them here. But the way they are positioned in the media makes everybody want to do business with them. So we decided to also come back home and see how we can position media differently in Nigeria. That we're not just going to be talking about politicians, how much money is embezzled, but we also need to talk about the good things that are happening within the business environment. There are a lot of people who are doing excellently well. There's one woman selling amala there. Is training their children overseas. Nobody is giving them the platform to talk. So SOUQ News came into existence to give platform to businesses, small and medium-scale businesses, voices in Africa, so that people all over the world can see what we're doing, see your visibility, support your project, and then of course you can also become a global champion.
Walk around, you see people doing great things, doing business, and if you ask them if they have their business registration, you discover that some of them have been doing business for a long time, for some of them 10, 15 years, and they don't have business registration. Some of them, they don't even have business accounts registered in the business name, or they operate these businesses practically in their own name, and this is part of the challenges that they face in accessing finance as another challenge. Because as part of the challenges that occur when you don't have a business properly structured, access to finance also becomes a challenge for you, as you do not have credit history developed over time for people to make informed decisions on whether they want to partner with you or not. So these are part of the challenges that small businesses face in developing their businesses. Thank you.
What we have done is to actually connect financial access to digital inclusion, right? By providing the opportunity for SMEs based on, like Mr. Diaby mentioned, their credit score and things like that, based on their credit score, their record keeping, and their transaction history, to be able to access some type of funding, right? So what I would have mentioned. Right, so there's money that's accessible single digits, ranging from about 7% to 3%. starting from as low as 100,000 up to 5 million. And the best part about it is that this product initially is free to the SMEs. All they need to do is to register. It's called the Provide. They're able to establish their online presence. Photographers, barbers, small shop owners. There's no reason why they can't use technology, right, to actually formalize their business and be able to create that history, to be able to access funding that is available to them. By becoming more organized, more productive, and also more effective. So, as people in finance know, it's about following the money. Usually there is criteria that is set out, and this criteria, just like he said as well, it requires certain things like coming to the formal economy, right? Taxes, business name, having a bank account. I used to have a tailor that started from absolutely zero, right? He built his business such that he had like a bungalow in front and back, several staff. When you want to pay money, it into a private account. It doesn't make any sense. And it's actually well spoken, better spoken than I am. So until SMEs can actually understand that it's about criteria, right? And it's not free money. They have to follow a process to meet these criteria. Then they continue to laugh. I've been in a session with the director here at the stakeholders meeting where some of the SME associations are complaining to, I won't mention development bank association, that you're saying you have 5 billion, you're saying you have 10 billion, but only 5 members have collected this money. And the representative told them that, look, there is criteria. Some of you know this criteria, you're not bothered. Some of you are just too disorganized. Some of you actually qualified, but you just don't want to put yourselves in a position where you can access this money.
But I would like you to tell us, there might be 5 business plans on the table. Yeah. What makes one better than the other? What are the key things as a lender that you look for?
So, we mentioned financial discipline is one. I'm looking at, for example, the requirements that he mentioned are part of the document that was submitted to me, and part of the business plan. But in reviewing all these documents, I'm looking at the financial discipline amongst all of them. Who amongst all of them is disciplined enough to? Because it shows, as you are modeling this document, it shows the plan.
Discipline, retaining funds or less expenditure?
No, it depends. It depends. For some businesses, it depends on the nature of business anyway. No one size fits all.
Correct, but yes. Usually what are the things? It's just different sectors.
Like generally, you look at how you leverage expenses, right? What do you spend your money on? Basically, it shows in the business how you expend from your business. Do you use it to solve personal problems as against destroying family businesses?
I think content they say today is king in the media. What we're doing today is that nobody's creating content for you, you're actually creating your own content. Take for example, you produce granite and you're showing on your mobile phone, for example, the process that you take to produce this granite has come to the market, and people are looking at it and they say, oh, how hygienic that you are. They're not just buying something, because you also find it. Because there are too many narratives in the social media, for example, today, people believe that there are some certain things that want to buy chips on the road and say, oh, they are using chemical to produce it. Now, this is discouraging a lot of people from participating. But if you create content to show, for example, from your oil, how it's genuine.
Social media.
Social media, yes, of course.
Putting together professional to do it, or it's something that they can do, or there are courses.
Of course, the mobile phone is a television house today, really. So you may not even name a media house, for example, and you put them together on either your Instagram or your Facebook, and the world can see it, and it gets viral. Especially when the story that you are telling is so touching and has a human angle to it. And what I'm saying is that yes, for those who are big, yes, you can have somebody who is your media strategist, is going to help you design content and invest so much on it. But as a small business, you can actually create your content with your mobile phone. And most of the content that you see today that actually go viral are done on mobile phone, not on the big cameras that, of course, the medias are carrying. But what we can only do is to validate some of all this story when we also give you the platform to tell your story, and then, of course, we help you distribute to wider audiences. There are a lot of platform. There are a lot of softwares that are available today in the space. Some of them are free, some of the lessons you can actually get. For example, if you download the Canva, for example, on your phone, it can help you aggregate your photos, your videos within your phone and produce a content. There are AI-powered tools today you find on the app. Before now, when, of course, as a radio station, you want to produce your ident, you need somebody to come voice for you. Today, there are AIs who does that free for you. And those facilities are available, and of course, businesses can leverage it to actually tell their story.
Okay, so how ULAB is helping small businesses today? We're doing it in 4 ways. The very first thing is we're helping businesses manage their transactions. And I talked about the efficiency in the first place, right? We are managing transactions by ensuring efficiency, automating certain things that you need to do, so that small businesses can focus on producing whether your product or creating your design as a service provider. As a result of those transactions, we are also using that to build credit profiles for small businesses. Credit profiling is a big issue in Nigeria and Africa today. Right? There was a publication outside recently that the CBN have confirmed that businesses can now have transaction histories passed around with banks, which is a great thing because it has been a major problem till date. Right? So that's how we're solving that particular part. And another thing is we're providing financial insights. Please take note, I didn't say data. Data is the raw form, right? Like I give an example within the team. I say data is your logo, your pepper. Insight is the soup, right? It's the useful form of it, right? Because a lot of businesses have a lot of data, right? But they don't know how to make use of it. So we provide financial insights that you can actually use to make data-driven decisions to achieve continued success. And the last thing is, which we know is super important for businesses, is investment opportunities, right? How do people access investment opportunities? Because a lot of small businesses have stashed cash that they're not using. Now, working on efficiency, how do they make efficient use of money that they're not using to run their business daily? And I'll on one more thing, which is payments that you talked about. So in the digital world of today, security is a major issue. And how we're solving that is by ensuring that people or businesses have seamless and secure transactions every day. We have stuff like escrow. I'm sure a number of us must have heard of it. And escrow basically means that there is a middleman that collects the money when two people want to transact. Then after the transaction is done, you pass it to who's supposed to receive it. And as a result of that, we've had a lot of satisfied businesses growing daily based on that.
MSME is the issue of accessibility to finance. And one of our flagship products, which I think I need to talk about here, is a product that actually helps to support, micro and small scale business owner to be able to repay a loan. Giving them, some kind of guarantee or support, through microfinance bank, microfinance institution, cooperative society, and all of that. I sometimes wonder each time I listen to institutions that are doing lending, talking about collateral. There are actually an insurance product that can actually help support an MSP to see them through the period of that loan and then able to repay their loan. And what we do therefore with that product is that we support lending institutions, we support cooperative society. All of these institutions are involved in lending so that we can support them, provide some kind of insurance that can see the customer through the period of that loan and then able to help them repay in case they fall into any challenges and they do not have the ability to repay the loan. Our product also, like I said, earlier on, cut across virtually. Even a Keke driver can actually have access to a full form of insurance. And then going to your question, one of the, some of the major challenges, and I'm actually going to talk about just 3 of them. One of the major challenges, which of course, both from the supply and the demand side, is the issue of awareness. When you talk about awareness of insurance today, many people would say they don't know even micro, and that's why I started earlier on speaking about what microinsurance is actually all about. Awareness is still not, we have the fault, some of us who are the operator. most of our strategy are most times appeal to the above the line customer. I mean the literate and the major organization and all of that. I think we need to readdress our strategy to ensure that it also addresses some of those the BTL, that's the below the line kinds of customer, where we have quite a number of MSME. And of course also the issue of public trust and negative perception is still very much there in insurance. A lot of people still, even though there have been a lot of improvement, a lot of people still feel insurance, they do not trust the insurance company to be able to pay to pay their claim. And I tell you, a lot of people have actually been made in that regard. There are regulatory supervision these days that ensures that when an insurance company takes your risk, it must fulfill the obligation of paying claim. And should they fail to do that, there are sanctions that goes with that. And then thirdly, the issue of God forbid. I know that's cultural and of course religious belief. When you talk about, most of the time when representative goes out to go and talk about insurance, the moment he mentions death or anything, or disability that could, be a form of insurance coverage, they say God forbid. So there are a lot of God forbid, and people most times do not want to actually listen to insurance companies. People pick the product for, they stop them from, having. I do believe that if we are able to address some of these things, if we have, opportunity and the kind of collaboration that we do, especially with the like of Asbon, where we talk to, their representative about insurance as we are doing today, many people will actually see the benefit of insurance and then be able to take on a product that will help them remain resilient and sustainable into the future. Thank you.
My apologies for coming late, but Lagos is very big. So, but I'm nevertheless delighted to be here, and all the more so. I'm happy that I also got here in time to listen to some of the very insightful dialogue on the just concluded panel. That was really very good. I'm here to deliver the Executive Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu's speech, and goodwill and thank you appreciative comments by the Special Advisor, Deputy Director General, Open State Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, and my dear sister, Ms. Shola Arubieke. Representatives of the representatives, obviously myself, my colleagues from the Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Trade and Investment, all here. Applaud them now. The Director General, Federal Research Institute Oshodi Firo, Mr. Lawal Adekunle. The President and convener here today of the Association of Small Businesses in Nigeria, Asbon, Dr. Femi Egeshola. Representatives of governments here present, leaders of business membership organizations here present, esteemed members of the panel of discussion, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. The acceptance speech by Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I am truly honored and humbled to accept the esteemed award for the most supportive governor for MSMEs in Nigeria from the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, Asbon. I commend Asbon's leadership for their unwavering commitment to the MSME community and for tirelessly advocating for small businesses throughout our country. I dedicate this recognition to the hard-working people of Lagos State, especially our enterprising MSME community, whose resilience, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit drive our economy. From the beginning of our administration, we've understood just how important micro, small, and medium enterprises are in fueling economic growth, creating jobs, sparking innovation, and alleviating poverty. To create a greater Lagos, it was clear, and it is clear, that empowering our MSMEs, the true engines of grassroots development, is essential. Our firm commitment to supporting small businesses is evident in our policies and initiatives, which include expanding the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSTEF, providing billions of naira in loans and grants to MSMEs across various sectors, making it easier for them to access affordable funding and grow their businesses, launching the post-COVID-19 Lagos MSME Recovery Fund, which delivered essential relief to businesses hit hard by the pandemic. Investing in enterprise hubs, business clinics, and industrial parks to foster environments where businesses can really flourish. Strengthening market access through initiatives like the Lagos State MSME Trade Fairs, the MSME Digital Marketplace, and forming strategic partnerships with private sector players. Facilitating capacity building training and mentorship programs in collaboration with local and international partners, helping MSME operators gain the skills they need for the digitized world. Inaugurating the Lagos State Council on MSMEs to create a coordinated platform for policy development, advocacy, and support for small businesses. Simplifying the business registration process and introducing tax relief measures to lighten financial burdens, particularly during these economic times. Over the past 4 years, through the Micro Enterprise Support Initiative, MESI, we have empowered more than 11,000 startup businesses, particularly focusing on vulnerable groups, women, and graduates from our skills acquisition centers. Our goal in Lagos State is to tackle poverty, is to boost wealth, and to help ease the economic challenges faced by the people of Lagos State. What is most important is that we are committed to listening, to engaging directly with MSMEs in order to truly understand their challenges and work collectively to create sustainable, impactful solutions. I want to assure you that we will ensure a business-friendly atmosphere, investing in infrastructure, encouraging innovation, and promoting inclusivity, making sure that every small business in Lagos has the chance to flourish. So let me take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude once again to Asborn for this recognition. Your commitment to celebrating excellence in entrepreneurship is truly admirable. To all, yes please, let's applaud him. To all MSME operators in Lagos State, your contributions are appreciated and your government is firmly behind you. Let us keep working towards building a greater Lagos, one that is competitive on a global scale, economically thriving and socially inclusive. Thank you all and God bless you. Mr. Babajide Olushola.
Yes, kindly put me award. Please come on, come on. Will you 7 up to mix and go yes or yes? Yes. Now let them know so that they can continue to. Alright, please take the award to Her Excellency and she will do us the honors of presenting.
I'm incredibly delighted on behalf of the Nigerian National Airline to present to you on behalf of ASBON the Nigerian National SME Business Awards. You are the winner of the SME Impact Leader Award, SME Man of the Year Award. I'm delighted to present to you Mr. Ziad Madu, the Managing Director of Seminole Public Company.
Please look at the camera. And so, the next award.
Give me the mic, I will not let it go by the way.
much for the award. It's a great honor for me to receive it, especially from you on behalf of Mr. Governor. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Together we make it better, Lagos.
For Mr. Governor, as the SME-friendly governor, and this award will be jointly presented by our own Shola here. Please come up, and Dr. Femi Shola presented this award to Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, SME Most Friendly Governor of the year 2025. Let's celebrate that.
Presents the Nigerian National SME Business Awards for 2025 to His Excellency Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu as the SME Most Friendly Governor of the year 2025.
Okay.
Of the Year for Business-Friendly Reforms under the Nigerian National SME Business Awards 2025. Can you give it up to the winner?
I'm delighted to accept this on behalf of the entire, because you know, as they say, it takes many people to make a village, and it's actually a team award. So these are the Director of Commerce and the Deputy Director of Commerce. We all work together, so it's actually our award. Thank you all very, very much indeed. Thank you.
I present to you this award as the SME Most Supported State Ministry of the Year. Big congratulations.
The Executive Governor of Ogun State, for the award of the Best Governor in Enterprise and Investment Promotion in Nigeria.
So it's an honor to present to you SME Hero in Public Service. The winner is Shola again.
State Investment Agency in Nigeria State category, and the winner is Ogun State Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency.
For small business growth in Nigeria. The winner is Mr. Bola Emmanuel Sofela. Congratulations.
On behalf of the Nigerian National SME Business Award, year 2025, I'd like to present this SME Micro Insurance Company of the Year Award to the winner, Micro Insurance Company Limited. Congratulations. On behalf of the National SME Business Award, the year 2025, we are presenting you SME-centric television station of the year 2025. Winner, of course, is SOUQ Television. Congratulations.
On behalf of the National SME Business Awards, year 2025, the first SME brand of the year, and the winner is analysts.
Awards year 2025 as the winner for Customer Choice Innovation in Business Management. Congratulations.
And reviews from those we have had. Are you a man of business in need of support? Visit www.artworld.org and register for free under the Nano Free membership portal today.
Join us and make a difference. Together, we can build a thriving future of Nigeria to go further. To be part of the Untold Collective Impact Initiative, please call 091-191-69773 or send an email to untoldcollectiveimpact@gmail.com.
Or donate to Fidelity Bank account 5600189903.
Let's join hands to empower dreams, create businesses, and transform Nigeria together. Your support, their growth, our future.
So that's it. Let's have the cake. Yeah, that's the cake. Let's hear the cake here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. President asked me to give a 10-minute speech. I'm not very good at speeches, so I'll tell you a story. They introduced me as the MD of 7-Up Bottling Company, but I am the MD of 7-Up Bottling Company. I'm the chairman of the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, and I'm the founder of a company called SME Scale. When I meet people and they ask me and I tell them my titles, they say, how lucky you are. And I look at them, they scale up and grow very fast. The other ones, the second category of lucky SMEs are the ones that shut down. The third and worst category in my point of view, and please guys, what I will tell you now, you might not like it, but the worst category of SMEs are the SMEs that continue 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Because we are like, SMEs are like human beings. We are born as babies, then we become children, then we become teenagers. I went in a coma for 1 year, not knowing what to do. I was on the shock. So I moved after that 1 year. I said, enough is enough, I have to do it. I started traveling and working in the worst countries in the world when it comes to safety. I don't know if anyone worked in Iraq after the American invasion. And people say Nigeria is unsafe. There, you have a probability of coming back home of 50% every day. I had to work 9 years, getting all my salary and paying to close my debts. And big thanks to Nigeria, the last year I came to Nigeria and I closed my last debt in Nigeria. So, if we look at that journey, when I closed my company, you all were much better than me. Nobody can debate that. But the moral of the story is, when we are determined to do things, when we do it the right way, the results will come. It took me 9 years to recover, and I made a promise to myself that I want to make people avoid that experience. How do I help people not go through this and go through nine years of suffering, and it was real suffering? Better than Nigerians that I should give that back. I've been in Nigeria for the last 18 years. I never lasted in any other country more than 1 year to 2 years. I madly fell in love with Nigeria. Nigeria made me what I am. And this is what I said. I want to pay back to this country and paying back in double-sided way. One way through the economy, as it was mentioned, because SMEs are the economy. And the second way is, how do I minimize the suffering of people? Companies that struggle, based on my experience, how can I pass on that experience? Based on that, we do every 10 days a one-day workshop for 100 SMEs, where I manage 90% of the time. I sit with them, I talk with them, I joke with them, we plan together. And I categorize them in 3 categories. 1/3 come to the workshop to chop food. What do I do? They just come to eat, leave, finish, they disappear. Another 1/3 or more come there, they want their business to grow, but they want to move all the problems to me so that I grow their business. It doesn't work that way. But there's a 10%, every session I have 5 to 10 SMEs that I feel they are determined to grow. They have a good idea, they have the passion. This is all what is needed for you to grow your business. Whatever people tell you, sometimes I get offended by SMEs telling me, I'm waiting for the grant from here or intervention. I say, why the heck, you are not beggars, guys. Without money, with small money, if you will have a great idea, you will get the money. Whether from BOI or from a grant or from a bank, if you have a great idea, you can do it. So the objective is not to make you better SMEs. The objective is to take you out of the SME space and go into the larger mega companies. You might say, yeah, this is the MD of the 7-Up, he can give us lots of grammar. But we have a 90% success rate with companies that are determined to succeed. A company called Mamalicious, I don't know who knows it here. They started with us a year ago with 20 million naira of revenue. Today they are making 2.2 billion naira. 2.2 billion naira. We have companies, small companies dealing with fufu, with gari. They are most interesting, but now they are repositioning all this and growing their business significantly. I'm not promoting SME scale-up because it's not for profit. So all the attendance, anything is for free. People come, attend, we guide them, they can come meet with me anytime. only one condition: they must be determined to go out of SME space within 6 months. And this is what we are aiming for. So if you have the idea, if you have the passion, you are welcome to join us. Nothing to be paid. So just get out of the concept that you believe you are small. Believe you are big, and there are lots of people that will help you grow there, but you have to do it. People will be there to just help you and guide the way. Thank you very much, guys.
Nano entrepreneurs makes about 85.5% of the total MSME ecosystem, meaning that we have 32.86 million MSMEs, but which are nano. And you begin to wonder, who are the nanos? Who do we refer to as nanos? These are small businesses, very small businesses, for the solopreneurs that most often are being run by one person, one man or woman, and then they hardly have to run. According to Sweden, their total turnover is always between 50,000 and 300,000 naira per annum. You can say they are indeed nano. This particular set of part of the ecosystem are not registered. Many of them are structured. They do not have access to funding, and they find it difficult to scale. So for us, we believe that for the country to succeed, it is important for every one of us in the ecosystem to focus more on the nano part of the ecosystem. And that's what we have done in ASPA. We decided that we are focusing on nano, and we take it as a decision, a strategic decision from January this year. We've been able to go to a number of markets, and what we do when we go to this market is to identify these nano entrepreneurs, see how we can uphold them. We also provide them funding, we provide them mentoring, and we support their business to scale. We also ensure that their businesses are insured. So we are now working with groups in microfinance, microinsurance, to ensure that they are insured in case of shocks. This will help them to sustain their business and to be able to grow and scale. In between January and now, we've been able to impact 287 different nanopreneurs. Today we invited about 10 of them to come from different sections, from Yanopaja, from Oba, from Ikeja, from Shomolu and the rest. Can you please stand up for recognition, nanos? Can you stand up for recognition? Can we put our hands together for them? Thank you so much for coming. Yes, thank you so much for coming. But the question is, can we do this alone? The answer is a capital no. It's a project we cannot do alone. We want to continue to ensure that they get the support they need. And for that to be sustained, we need government to support us. We need corporate organizations like yours to support us. We need individuals to support us. There are so many platforms that we can use to support us to keep the initiative running. One of such is identifying those nanos in your area and deciding to impact them through us. Could you that there are some other people in your church, in your mosque, in your street, or all of that, and you feel that there's need to raise them up, lift them up. Why don't you partner with HASCO and see how we can support this? I told you I'm not going to be spending more than 3 minutes, so I'm going to watch this video. It's less than a minute. Can we have the video? We're going to watch the video less than a minute, and I will be off here. Thank you for your listening and attention. We are going to cut a cake to officially launch the Nano initiative right after the video. I am sure that with your permission, we will request that the commissioner help us to take pictures after the cutting of the cake. Can we have a take on the stage, please?
The DJ representative, please join us. Thank you.
All right, we'll be very fast. I would like to, first and foremost, can we give Asbon an outstanding round of applause? This was an incredibly impactful initiative. And that's one of the reasons I stayed, because I was listening to what you were saying, and quite frankly, this is the core mandate of the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment. So on that note, and on behalf of all of everyone here on the stage here today, I will say and may everyone, every business, I like that term, I'm going to be using a solopreneur, continue to thrive and evolve into an entrepreneur. And on that note, can I say after 3? Shall we say after 3? Can we all say after? On that note, or after 3, can we all shout? I haven't said 3 yet. 1, 2, 3.
Wole Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded 2 theatre groups known as the 1960 Masks and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
on the 16th day of October, 63 years ago. I'm from Opobo, yeah, and went to school. I'm from Rivers State, from Opobo in Rivers State. Went to school in Port Harcourt, lived in Port Harcourt all my life, from primary to secondary school to A-levels. Then after A-levels, I got admission to Unilag. Immediately after Unilag, I got married, and I've lived in Lagos ever since. Well, it was fun for us because me and my husband were very young. My husband was 25, I was 21 and all that. But we learned on the job. We were friends. We were friends for 3 years when I was in Unilag, university. And we came out, we got married. So we're like children that just got married. But I had my parents. My parents were his very good friends. So when I get naughty, he would report me to my parents. When I didn't know these kind of duties were demands of somebody's wife, they would tell me this is my responsibility. I'm like, no. I will agree to some, I will not agree to some. But I mean, it was fun. We had our ups and downs, but kind of pushed through it. And then the children started coming, and it was a different ballgame. You know, when you come from that kind of family, it's like part of your system. You don't really regard it as anything anymore. But sometimes I get the shock of my life because there was a time my in-laws came to Opobo for one ceremony, and I saw the king. And he gave me a hug and he gave me a pick, and they were like, whoa, the upper Benin won't even shake your hand, you know, as a woman. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's the same family, you understand? So we're used to that. I think we take it for granted. But maybe some other people say, you must call me a princess, you must call me that. I'm not into all those kind of things. I'm not at all, I've never been. So I can't start tomorrow. But yeah, great King Jaja of Opobo, my great-great-grandfather. And my children, when they studied it in school, they went to Corona school. So they came, Mom, we're telling our teacher and our classmates that this King Jaja of Opobo, they taught them about King Jaja of Opobo in school. And they said, that's my mommy's great-grandfather. Like, whoa, no, it was like a big deal to them, for us. Absolutely, upbringing and my personal choice too, because you could be brought up one way and choose to go another way. You understand? One of my philosophies in life is like this: you're not the tallest in the world, you're not the shortest, you're not the prettiest, you're not the ugliest, you're not the richest, you're not the poorest. Oh, of course, get with it. Do you understand? If you're looking for beauty, there are more beautiful women than you say. If you're looking for ugly, there are uglier women. If you're looking for tall, you're looking for it. So what is it? You understand? You didn't come into this world with anything. You're not going to go with anything. So just be grateful to God for whatever you have or whatever you are. Work towards improving on it, improving your relationship with God Almighty and improving your relationship with your fellow human beings. That's my philosophy in life. So what's the point of carrying all the air and chips on your shoulder? It makes life heavier for you. Seven is my favorite number. It's a number for perfection, and I was born on the 16th of October. My star sign is Libra. We're always looking for perfect balance in everything. It's just an influence from the horoscopes, I'm told. But J is my husband's name, D is my name, and 7 is my favorite number. Lazy way of forming the name of a company, isn't it? So I did, and it stuck. And I knew I was going to go into couture, so that was it. Easy. I was a victim of circumstance. I keep saying it. I didn't really come into business to be a fashion designer, to go into fashion, and creativity has always been something that's innate. Okay, even before I started making clothes or doing this, I used to always give designers the styles that I want them to make for me. I didn't have tailors. But when I finished my NYSC at Nigerian Television Authority in Victoria Island, I decided I wasn't going to work there. I wanted to work in a more organized setup. You understand? Because of management traineeship, because I never worked all my life. My parents were very protective. I'm the last girl in the family. They were always very protective. So I said I wanted to work somewhere, and I prayed about it. And I got into Unilever. Then it was called Labor Brothers. And for 5 years, but the intensity of work there became a bit much for me because I was a young mother. I had 2 kids then. Was going on having the 3rd one. So it became a bit time. Sometimes Unilever was one of the biggest. When the international directors come in, we used to be the ones to host them with all the Unilever affiliates. Linkers, the advertising agency used to be here. All the Nigerian breweries, USC, you understand, AJC, we're all Unilever group. Sometimes I won't get home until 3 a.m. when we are hosting. And with kids in the house, it can be a bit much. So I'm like, I prayed about it and I decided something has to give. It's either your family, your children will not give them the attention they need then, and they were growing fast, or your job will suffer, and then you will not be happy, whichever way. So I decided, you know what, let my priority be my family. And I decided to go back. And I put in my resignation. That was not what I'm fine. When I did, my chairman refused to accept the resignation. So I had to use another way to encourage him to accept it. So I left Unilever. I said, okay, I wasn't the type of person that was suited for being a housewife. I wanted to do the kind of business I would do, but still have 100% time for the kids. So when the kids said they're having something in school, I'm there, okay? I decided I was going to just market corporate gifts. When I was in Unilever, I was the assistant corporate affairs manager in charge of press. So, and being in Unilever at the corporate affairs level, I already knew a lot of companies. So I used that opportunity to get back to those companies and introduce my new business. And in the first year, I actually made more money than my 5-year stint in Unilever. So that was the normal encouragement. You make more money, do your own business. You have more time for your kids, for your family, and for yourself. And you travel quite a bit because you have to go and buy the corporate gift. So it was a win-win. Then, a few years down the line, the president, Olusegun Obasanjo, came in and said they were doing backward integration and they were going to stop the importation of all this corporate gift and a lot of other things. So we were actually forced to look inwards. And when we started looking inwards, that's when it hit me that apart from Big, that was being produced by Eleganza, we're not really manufacturing anything in Nigeria apart from textiles and maybe I think Eleganza was doing food flask or something. And which corporate body do you want to give as end of year gift? So what we had to do now, because a lot of my clientele were like Shell, Chevron, I started looking inwards. I said, okay, if I have to do something, I can do beddings, pillowcase trimmings, table covers, table placemat, napkins with fabrics like I showed and I can do jute bags, It came to me. So I had to go and buy one machine and employed one tailor. So sometimes they will call me. I did some samples. So even in Abuja, when they were going to have, I remember the West African Women's Affairs, they had a conference. So they wanted jute bags, and we had about 1,000 or 2,000 jute bags, and that was quite nice. Plus, apart from the end of year activities. So that's it. But after those periods, you have periods of lull, like you're not using the machine and the tailor. You have to be paying tailor for doing it. I'm like, why am I going to these people to make my clothes? Tailor, oh yeah. This is the style I want. I started first by giving some of my clothes, repeat it. You did well. So I started designing. I could sketch very well. I was a science student in school, but I could sketch really well. So I was scared she would do well. And sometimes when I wear the clothes and I go to supermarket, some women will just call me, hey, I really like this thing you're wearing. Please, where did you make it? I'm like, okay, I'll give you the address. I give them the address. They started coming. Before I could say that, within 1 month, I had over 50 women I had to make clothes for. And the one tailor was no longer enough. I had to employ 2 others. That was how we started. From 2 to 4, then I had a whole factory before you could see that. I started making school uniforms, started doing all kinds of things. And then some of the magazines, like Genevieve magazine, looked around like, are you sure you make this outfit? I thought you were a broadcaster. I thought you sell. I said, yes, I did. So I did some photo shoot session for her, and I modeled the clothes actually. And whoa, I started getting calls from Paris, from the UK. I did DC Fashion Week, I was just, and they will pay your ticket, pay your hotel, please come and showcase for us. Some will even say, please come and open the show for us. Some say, we want you to close it. I'm like, okay. There are places that I would never have thought of going to, like Burkina Faso. They will back me the top fashion designers there when the Alfadi does this thing once every 4 years. Alfadi in Niger. The Niger government sponsors it. He calls all, including Elisab, every international designer, they will go, especially the Moroccan ones, those North African ones, Indians. So they invite one designer from each country. So they used to call me to come because of what I used to work a lot with Ankara and SOUQ, and I do international acclaimed, how would I put it, couture outfits with Ankara, big hats, funny looking, structured clothes and all that. So that was how it went, And I did all the magazines. I've won all the awards. So after a while, I started thinking of concentrating on exports. In the process of doing that, my husband took ill. After 2 years, we lost him. So when I came back home, I gave a lot of things a lot of thought. My kids were still in school. My daughter got married. She was in Australia already. And then my 2 boys were still in school. So I said, look, this fashion design thing is not going to pay school fees in pounds sterling and dollars. So I said to myself, you know what? Why don't you give the man hours to the industry, the family business that were yielding the most income? That was how I started kind of just saying, you know what, let me just minimize it a bit. My core clients were still coming. So I kept the tailors, my experienced tailors that worked with for years. I kept few of them. And I kind of cut down on that business. I said, you know what, let me just go and face the family business and do this for the people who really know what I'm doing. And word of mouth goes. So I'm still doing that, but my priority is really not that, When you look at me the first time you see me, you see a fragile woman that don't like to sweat, that's spoiled, that like to be kept. I'm like, what? Absolutely not. My husband didn't want me to do anything. He just felt he wanted to spoil me. I said, that's not how to love me at all. Please. It's either you kind of understand the person I am. I'm a very creative mind. This mind has to keep working, or I'll make life miserable for you, What I will advise, even women who are willing to work, you don't even do one job. You must get at least more than 2 streams of income. Otherwise, you will not make ends meet. That is the truth of today's world. You understand? Then those ones that want to be kept, no matter how wealthy your husband is, wealth is not static. Some people start today. When they retire, everything goes downhill. Some people mean well. They love you. They want to take care of you. But nature calls. They part ways. Some marry other women, some leave, some die. You understand? So anything can happen. I will advise them, everybody, try to be as independent as you can, financially independent. I think you actually earn more respect when you do that. And then also, when things don't work out too well for the husband, no matter how rich you are, you don't have to put him through too much stress. You can take care of yourself, you can take care of yourself, you take care of him, you encourage him. But let him not feel that the world has come to an end. You know, a man feels happy when he knows that his back is covered, even when he's not making it. You understand? It doesn't make him lazy, it makes him very grateful. Yeah. So I will advise everybody, get something doing. Do something that will enable you to earn good income if you can. Do something that you also enjoy doing. I've always believed in garbage in, garbage out. Yeah? Garbage in is the stress abound. You cannot control that. But you can control your attitude towards stress. Stress is the #1 killer and ages of everything in this world. It's your attitude to stress that you have to manage, and that depends on you. What you put in your mouth also depends on you. Your mind, your heart, your spirit, your soul. You have to be loving, you have to be forgiving, you understand? All that depends on you. So it's actually you that decides whether you're going to age gracefully or you're not. Forget about the genes first. It's true. You understand? Some people are so malicious, when you offend them once, oh my goodness. They will carry it in their chest and the chest will be expanding and they won't sleep well and they begin to have problems. Meanwhile, the person you're angry with does not even know you exist. It's crazy. So for me, it's just be free and take life easy. Take it as it comes and always be grateful to God. I'm too honest and straightforward. It's either I will be killed immediately or because I will tell you the truth no matter whose house is God. I don't think I can play politics. I'm not a politician at all. I am a very straight shooter. I will tell you to your face when you're doing stupid things. That was my relationship with my mom, my dad, my husband. So most times, I'm the last girl in the house, so maybe when they were disciplining the first ones, by the time they got to my turn, they were a bit tired. So we could talk to my parents anyhow. But I don't do it to create whatever. I just feel that if anybody worth talking to, is worth talking to with honesty and integrity. And when you want to play politics, they will see something that is black. They will say it's yellow. I can't do that. For the love of me, I can't. So politics is not my call. And because of that, they will not allow your creativity to come out, your sincerity. What's the point? Yes. I'm actually planning some kind of... I met some of my old models that are doing very well. And you know, when you deal with a lot of these girls, some of them have traveled with me to Niger. Sometimes they'll tell you, bring 2 of your models. You know, some of them, we have very good relationship. We're going to do a reunion one of these days. It will be fun. And they are all calling, when are we going to do this? I say, don't worry, we'll get a reunion done. Because we need to revisit the fashion industry, see how things are going. They're doing well. The new ones are doing well. And I just pray that the environment will not discourage them, you know. It's not just Nigeria, it's the world. Whatever is happening in Nigeria is what the truth is. A crate of egg in Nigeria is still cheaper than a crate of egg in the US and in the UK, even with the exchange rate. So it's not just Nigeria, the world is experiencing some kind of... The way I see it is like the pangs of birth before the child finally comes. You know, that intense labor. And then when the child is born, everything is calm and beautiful, everybody's happy. I think we are just towards the end of the labor pain. It's going to get better, but we're going to pass through a lot of that before it gets better. And when it finally gets better, we'll all be smiling. But right now, the whole world, not just Nigeria, is crazy. If you look at international, listen to international news, it's actually crazier than here. I just pray. Yes, I live opposite, I won't even say it, on the street. One of the big men that live on that street, his birthday was yesterday, and the whole street was filled with beggars, hungry people. It was really crazy. I felt so bad. We were pushing each other, killing each other, fighting just to get a plate of jollof rice. It was very sad. It didn't used to be that bad. There were a few people who would come hang around, but the whole street, I couldn't move anywhere yesterday because of it. But I hope it gets better soon, so that the best in all of us can come in. Because hunger and poverty can actually bring out the worst in people. Naturally, yes. I have an NGO that I do. What I do, I take girls, young girls that are not able to complete school because of poverty, and I educate them. You understand? I try to pay school fees, help people. I believe in education a lot. Yeah, because I don't believe in giving you the fish. I believe in teaching you how to fish. I have few of them from my place come stay with me. Some of them are able to stand the discipline. Some of them are not able. So the ones that are able to stay, they stay, and they do very well. Some of them I train from a distance and they do well. So I've had university graduates, I have the levels, I have all kinds of things. That's what I do. And most people come to me naturally, not because I'm a trained mentor or anything. When you do anything out of love and out of sincerity of purpose, and because they see you as genuine, they listen to you. You understand? When you mean well, you tell people the honest truth, and they, it's not easy sometimes, but yes, a kind of mentor.